this is how much I trust you guys. And I want people that own all kinds of businesses to listen to this little story and just think about it in their own realm. So we were standing there and we had a nice big F-250 that we just bought. So we had the right size truck for this trailer, all the things. But still, we kind of wanted to put in these things that people call airbags that kind of lift up the back of your truck. So I don't know why. That's a whole another topic. But okay. So Casey says, well, we got a dealership right here in town that I really trust. Maybe they could fit you in before you drive back to Vermont. We did not even ask what it cost, Corrin.
Yeah.
We just wanted this done. We wanted it done by somebody Casey trusted. Didn't even ask what it cost. Now, we're not independently wealthy. We should have asked what it cost. But we were just in the moment. It seemed like the right thing to do. So Casey tried to make all these phone calls, and unfortunately, they didn't have the right size for us. So we would have had to wait for 3 days, and we had a long trip back, so we couldn't stay. Okay, so the story isn't finished. So that's the kind of trust that we all want in our businesses, no matter what kind of small, medium business we're running. We want people, our customers, to say, well, if that person's good enough for you, they're good enough for me. Right? Like the oral surgeon that I refer to, or the gum specialist. People don't ask, oh, is he the cheapest? They never say that to me. They say, okay, now would you have him do stuff on you? And I say, well, yeah, he has. My son lost his front tooth. He's the guy I sent my own son to have his front tooth replaced, you know? And then the story continues. So now we're back in Vermont. We still want that thing put on the back of our truck. And we can't find anybody here who seems to know what it is.
Oh, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So you know what my plan is, though? I'm going to find the best person I can. Then I'm going to see if Casey will just talk to him for 5 minutes, talk to whoever it is for 5 minutes for me, and then call me back after the conversation's over and tell me that this guy's trustworthy or not. I even trust Casey's opinion so much that I would have him communicate with this person I've selected, and he'll be the judge of whether I do business with that next person. That's a lot of trust.
Well, I think it comes down to credibility, right? When somebody can really show that they're credible, and Casey is salt of the earth. I mean, that guy he's credible on everything. I would trust him with my life, truly. He would give you the shirt off his back. And I know people always say that, but he is really a great human. We are so, so blessed to have him with us. But yeah, so absolutely, he has credibility. And so if he says, this is the guy I would go to, absolutely. And in the other, on that same token though, if he said, we don't really have anybody in town that can do that, trust that he's telling you the truth then too. And so that, I think, maybe that's another topic that we could talk about. In order to be credible, you can't, especially in sales, dishonesty is not going to fly. You know, there are people who don't know the answers of questions and they make them up, right? You have to be at a certain level of integrity to where people trust you and they know you're credible. And then that way they trust doing business with you. And then again, it's that circle. It's that circle of trusting people and the gratitude economy.
Yeah, they can say the hard things to you. Right?
Yes.
Like Casey didn't agree with every single thing we said. He said, well, you know, because we went back and forth about having a generator. And, you know, we were just in this mindset that we want to have as much joy from this thing in the little amount of time that we're going to use it until we do actually retire. And, you know, so he could tell us some hard things. Well, for me, he said, blah, blah, blah. And that's the same option that we all have, no matter what our business is.
Right.
We can, if you're authentic and if your heart is really with doing the right thing for the other person, they know that.
Yeah. We are one of the only dealerships that in today's day and age, there's a lot of half-ton truck drivers, right? Or SUV drivers. Outdoors RV? Absolutely not ideal if you have a lightweight tow vehicle. Half tons, I mean, there's a couple, but I've had people that have said, fine, I'll go somewhere else because they'll sell me that trailer with my truck. And I don't know why on earth you wouldn't want to take a recommendation that it's unsafe, that it's not a good idea, you know, but we always tell people, and I would say 99% of the time, when somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to tow this trailer with this truck, and I email them back and tell them that's not a good idea. You either need to find a different brand of trailer that I don't sell, right? So I'm directing them away from my business, or you need to purchase a bigger pickup. They always come back with gratitude that I was honest, because their local place or the other 5 people they talked to said, oh yeah, you're fine. Again, it stems from people not actually towing trailers. I mean, I personally have towed so many different trailers that I know what I'm comfortable with and what my truck is good with. And so I think that's, again, we're cycling back to credibility, right? So, but being honest, when you're honest, then you become credible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, in any business.
In any business, right? Mm-hmm. And that's all we're looking for that human part of the relationship is honesty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so talk to me about something you mentioned a minute ago. Let's talk about this world of 7 or 8 years ago. It was harder. You had to put out the deals and the advertising and all that, and somehow that's gone. That's different now, and you're not sure, but maybe the arc of time is that you have so much word of mouth out there now.
Absolutely.
So getting to be a real success in the gratitude economy, would you agree, has probably an arc of time that you have to invest in the beginning?
Sure. Absolutely. So I think, like, let's say somebody was starting up a business tomorrow, right? Whatever the business is. I think if you start out by being a really good human and really pay attention to how you do business when you're spending your money, because that's your energy. If you pay attention to that, that's going to set you on the correct trajectory to have your business be successful, even just from a universal perspective, right? So I think if you start there, that's a good base. Then, but as far as like advertising, so if we go back to like my own experience, I remember about 10 years ago, we quit print advertising. It was definitely going the way of Google, and that sort of advertisement. And I think it was 10 years ago that my credit card had gotten compromised. And I didn't realize it, but I hadn't advertised because my credit card wasn't working on the auto pay, hadn't worked for like a year and a half. And for some reason, I didn't know. We hadn't even been advertising and had our best year ever, and then our best year ever, and then our best year ever. And so I said, I'm just going to give it a whirl. I'm not going to do any advertising. With the invention of Facebook and Instagram, we tried that a little bit. We did a little bit on Facebook and Instagram, which I think works a little bit, but really it's been all word of mouth, completely word of mouth. Then when we really started putting out YouTube videos, and that was actually, we had done a few of them, but not as much as we do now. That kind of started with COVID. We had some people that wanted to do an interview with Outdoors RV and then with myself, and they posted that. And then COVID hit and I was getting phone calls. Hey, my local dealership is closed, or I can't find this trailer. Could you possibly do a walk around and show me what this trailer looks like? And it's so funny too, to think about, I don't want to get too off in the weeds, but to think about how everything happened perfectly in alignment. And again, I think it all stems from just being a good human. And then everything just perfectly aligned. And we started doing YouTube videos, and people started calling and saying, you guys seem really great. You seem like really nice people. And it's like, well, we are really nice people. Just be a really nice person, be a really good human. And I truly think that you will get back exactly what you put out into this world. And it's that energy that we keep talking about. And so that really has catapulted our business to a whole new level. But also it has brought in a clientele on our end that is different. It's different than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I would say that people weren't as respectful. They sort of, especially if you were a woman, my mom or I would get kind of the short end of the stick on some of those customers. And I hate to play that card, but I mean, it's the truth. And so I think it's really helped just everything that's happened in the last 10 years with the internet, with everything, and people can really see what kind of a person you are and see the value that you're putting out into the world. And then, maybe they call the dealership and they get my brother and they're like, my gosh, I've gotten more information from you than I've gotten from the last 6 places I've called, because he knows his stuff, because we grew up doing it, because we use it. So, it's a multifaceted approach, right? But it just has sort of also, I don't want to say it's been a little bit of luck, but it's been a little bit of just luck. And I think, again, if I was recommending something to anybody out there starting a new business or in the middle of their business, is to have faith that it will succeed. If you can do business honestly, do it well. Obviously, you can't be terrible at what you do and you're not going to be successful, right? You need to be really, really good at what you do. In fact, you need to know it better than anybody else in the field, right? For a fact that nobody knows outdoors RV like Thompson RV. Nobody. And I'm not trying to be braggy or anything of that nature, but it's the truth. And that's because that's what we do. But I think if you can be a good human, know your product, know exactly what you're doing, and really be there to take care of people, you have no choice but to be successful. It's going to happen.
I want to address that luck thing. One of the earliest little phrases that I learned that I hung on to all through my business life is chance favors the prepared mind. Yeah. So this luck thing, it's so easy to use. Oh, I didn't have any luck. Oh, bad luck. Oh, it's right. It's easy to use that as an excuse. It was our bad luck that the governor closed the dentistry down for 10 weeks in Vermont, and it was a nightmare there for a while for our big practice. Bad luck, but chance favors the prepared mind. So what had happened was we had been so good at customer service. We'd given everyone our home phone number already for 25 years that actually when dentistry was closed down, we couldn't do more business. We couldn't do real business. We took care of everyone who had some horrifying thing happen to them. Just like that, which improved their lives, which made more Google reviews and which made better word of mouth. Like it all worked out because we had things prepared for years.
Yeah.
For that.
You pre-paved that success. Absolutely.
Right. So, as people are thinking about this through the light of their own business, this conversation, I want them to remember that, this is something that will take time, but then we have to talk about the future proofing aspect of this. If you're willing to pay your dues on the front end and generate these raving fans like we are, and, stay the course, just stay the course. You're going to have a future-proofed business because it takes so long for you to lose that trust. Talk to us about the future-proofing.
Right. Well, I think it's, again, the word that's coming up in my mind is authentic. So like when you're authentic, when you go into work every day being authentic and really wanting to help people. So whether it's dentistry, and you end up, it's almost like you don't even realize that you're pre-paving for the future, but you are, because you're showing up every day authentically as who you are. And that's going to create those relationships. It's like I keep coming back to the fact that it's a full circle, because it's when you do that, it just provides that value to those people. But I think a lot of it's authenticity. And so if somebody, again, somebody's listening to this that maybe is starting up a business or something of that nature, just being authentically energetic about what you do and having faith in what you do, and all of that is going to pay off in the long run, for sure.